All right, next question up. Let's handle this system of equations problem that we're going to solve not with substitution, but elimination. And if you take a quick glance, you can definitely tell that we won't be using substitution because we don't have one of the variables by itself. Like if we had the x by itself or the y by itself on one side, yeah, we could definitely think about using substitution. But here, we're going to maybe have to think about elimination, but what's the problem here, everybody? What's the problem? Are our variables lined up with the same coefficients? Like, do we have the same number in front of the y's? No, we don't. Do we have the same number in front of the x's? Oh, no, we don't either, right? So if you're sitting here thinking, man, this is a huge problem, I don't know what to do, this kind of sucks. Hey, I hear you. But we're one step away from making this problem solvable. Let me show you. Everyone, pop quiz. What is the letter that we're solving for again? What's the letter again? Which one is it, X or Y? Yeah, we're solving for the Y. So everybody, if we want to get the Y by itself, which letter do you think we're going to try to cancel out, try to get rid of? Yeah, the X, exactly. If we're solving for y, I'm going to try to find a way to get rid of these x's. But I can't do that right now because they're not the same number in the front. They're not the same coefficient. But guess what, everybody? What can I multiply for? What can I multiply 4 by to make it 8? What could I do there? Yeah, I think we all see that. We can multiply by 2. So check this out. I am going to multiply the entire top equation. I'm going to multiply it by 2. And then I'm going to just move it over here to the right side. So we are going to have 2 times 4x, and that's going to give us 8x. I'm going to multiply 2 by the 4y. That's going to give us 8y. Then I'm going to multiply the 2 by negative 176, and that will end up giving us negative 352. You can go ahead and do the work, but 176 times 2 is 352. So from here, everybody, if you write down the other equation that we had underneath, take a look. Take a look. Right there, we have negative 8x plus 3y equals negative 132. Everyone, if you check this out now, are we ready to eliminate the x? Do you see that? Yeah, there we are. Like I said, we were one step away from making this a little more familiar. That's all we had to do. We just had to find a way to make the coefficients the same. The numbers in front of the letters, those are called coefficients. If we got them to be the same number, now I can cancel or eliminate the x and then get the y by itself. So let's go ahead and get that work done now. Let me just draw my line here and let me add. So if I were to add, boom, cancels out exactly like I hoped for. And then here we have 8 plus 3y. Everybody, 8y plus 3y. That's going to leave us where? Yeah, that's 11. That's 11y. And then that's going to equal negative 352 minus 132. So basically just combine these and keep it negative. That'll be 484. So there we go. We have negative 484. My party people, what's the very last step that I take here before I'm done? Yeah, just divide. Divide both sides by 11. That's the equation we have, and we're all good. So divide by 11 on both. Excellent. Cancels out on the left. And then we have y equals whatever the result of this long division is. And that's what I'll do. 11 going into 484. 11 goes into 48. That's going to be 4 times because that's 44. I have 4 left over. Drop the other 4. And then again, 11 goes into 44 4 times. No remainder. Booyah. And so we have y equals not positive 44, but negative 44 because we had a negative divided by a positive. So that'll end up being negative and then that 44 that we got is the quotient. So there we are, my party people. The correct answer here is answer choice A, negative 44. All right, let's continue the party here. What is the value of 15 to the power of negative 4? All right, well, let me tell you this here. I am not going to take 15 to the power of 4. I'm not going to do it. Not going to be necessary. Because when I take a look at the answer choices, everybody, I see one answer that has 15 involved in it. And then the rest of the answers have 50,625. So everyone, do we have to guess at what 15 to the power of 4 is? Ignore the negative. Do we have to guess at what 15 to the power of 4 is? No, we don't. We don't have to try it. We don't have to calculate. We're good. We know exactly what 15 to the power of 4 is. We can see it all over the place. So what we really have to focus on is the proper application of the negative exponent law. Here's how we handle this. The negative exponent law, everybody, remember, all we have to do to make something a positive exponent is simply going to be move it between the numerator and denominator, and that will allow you to flip the exponent. Because this is technically in the numerator, anything over 1, what we can now do is we can write this as 1 over 15 to the power of positive 4. And just like we observed just about 30 seconds ago, everybody, 15 to the power of 4, we can replace that with 50,625, which is the only answer that's written properly. That is answer choice D, 1 over 50,625. This is not a negative number. The negative exponent means you're flipping it between numerator and denominator. It does not mean your answer is going to be negative. Does not mean your answer is going to be negative. And 15 to the power of 4 is not 15. So there we go. The correct answer here, everybody, is answer choice D. All right, so let's practice this first problem here. We have which expression is equivalent to 6x plus 15. So when we take a look at the answer choices, everyone, I immediately notice that these parentheses, what they mean, they basically just mean that, hey, we're going to be factoring out whatever we can from 6x plus 15. That's the job. So when we take a look at 6x plus 15, everybody, quick question. Do both 6x and 15, do they each have a variable x? Do they both have at least one? They don't. They don't. Only the 6x has a variable. So when it comes to factoring, you're not going to be factoring out a variable. You're just going to be factoring out a number. And so when we take a look at 6, well, 6 is 2 times 3. So because 6 doesn't go into 15, I got to ask, do one of the factors of 6 go into 15? And it's not going to be 2 because 15 is not even. So it's going to have to be the 3. And so when I think about this, yeah, I can factor out a 3 right there in front of the parentheses. And then we think about it, well, 6 divided by 3, that's 2. That x comes along for the ride. And then 15 divided by 3, that's going to be 5. And so there we are. We have 3 on the outside. That's what we factored out. And on the inside, we have 2x plus 5. And if you want to prove that this is correct, it's actually super easy. Because what you'll be doing is you'll be distributing to each of the terms therein. So the 3 will distribute to the 2x and to the 5. And what you're going to find out is 3 times 2x is going to give you 6x. And then 3 times 5 is 15. So exactly what we had from the get-go. And so boom, we're all good. And that's what makes our correct answer here, my party people. Answer choice C.